What you got here, honey?
My brain on a bed.
Ooh, brain on a bed. Okay, what is this first?
Oh, this is how I pack. So the concept of packing for me comes down to sort of capsule wardrobe. So you plan out a color palette and then you put in the clothes that will match that color palette. So whether I'm packing for the boys or myself, I pick out my shirts first that I want to go. Oftentimes, like for the kids, it'll be red, black, blue, let's say, or it'll be gray, orange, whatever, but the colors are specific. Then you pair that with pants or bottoms. So you try to pick tops that go with bottoms, so I lay out all the tops. And if I had, obviously I do not like patterns because all of mine are solids, but if I had a pattern, it would be the predominant color of that pattern. So if this was a top and it was a blue, then it would go here, and then I would pair that with a navy bottom, let's say. So for the boys, because they have more pattern and variety in their shirts, I do it by base color of the shirt. So it'll be a gray pile, a red pile, a black pile, and then I pair the bottoms with that, whatever I would wear. And then if there's one that only has like one color or something, then that gets pulled out if I'm trying to reduce it down. This company is my favorite wool company right now, which is Unbound. Most of these, this is all wool. I love wearing wool because whether it's hot, whether it's cold. Merino wool, I love it. I have it on all the time. I have socks, and since it's winter, they go up higher.
I don't know what you're talking about, honey.
Yeah, your pants, well, do you have anything on that's not merino? Right
No,
now?
I've got underwear, socks, pants, undershirt, and sweater.
Ironically, they're all gray. Pretty
Yes.
good. So this is kind of how my brain works for packing. I lay out the shirts that I want, and then I pair it with the bottoms that I think I might want, and then I narrow down the bottoms. So for instance, if this pair of bottoms would only go with one shirt, then that's not a good option. So for instance, this one might not be a good option because I can only wear it with navy. I can't really wear it with green, I can't really wear it with black, can't really wear it with blue, so then it goes out to the bottom, because why bother taking one pair of shorts that you can't wear with multiple colors? So this one could be worn with navy, it could be worn with the pink, it could theoretically be worn with the black as well. So that's a good option. But and then it comes down to size.
So can you just touch on your list that you make first?
Okay, so I am an emotional packer. I love the clothes that I have. I've downsized my clothes to be basically just what I love. And so I will unemotionally sit and make a paper list out or on my phone. We use Evernote a lot for lists because then we have it on each phone and it's organized, and on our iPads. So I will write out a list. Typically I do 10 days of packing. Does not matter how long the trip is. Does not matter what the weather is going to be, it's 10 days of packing. That's how often I want to do laundry. So that's how many undies we get. That's how many socks we get. Then I add into that, like if it's cold weather, then I would add in sweaters. But your base wardrobe is 10 days, and layering, so that I write out a list for every place that we're going.
So it'll look like 3 shirts.
It would look like, yeah, if it's 10 days, it would look like, if we're going somewhere warm, it would look like 5 tank tops, more like 6 tank tops for me. 5 pairs of underwear. It would look like maybe 5 shorts or 6 shorts, 1 pair of jeans, 1 pair of leggings, maybe like 1 sweater, 2 hoodies, because I love hoodies. I'm a hoodie girl. And then shoe options, whatever you want for those. And maybe 1 pair of socks, except for my gigantic travel socks, which I always travel with. These are redhead. You get them at Bass Pro for like $5 or $10, but they're merino wool and they are fantastic. They might be more like $12 now or $15.
I think you prefer to wrap your whole body in that, but you know.
Well, that might be a little warm, but if you put them on just your legs, I wear them on airplanes. I wear them on, like, once you're sitting in your seat, pull them on because the floor of the plane is always cold. I wear them if, like, in Mexico, for instance, when you go to sometimes stay at a house, they don't necessarily have heat in the winter, but it still gets chilly. So those tile floors are pretty cold. So those go on. I know, sexy, but warmth is better.
They're
than
super sexy.
warmth. Happy wife, happy life. So warm wife, happy life.
True story.
So to this, if I was going to Mexico, I'd add golf because we golf a lot. So have a golf shirt here. I have golf stuff already in Mexico, but that's what I would add to this.
Now this particular pile looks pretty warm weather to me.
Yes, it is. So I was going through my shorts is what happened because I have to pare this down for our grand adventure.
The grand adventure.
So I'm adding to this for sure my pair of hiking pants for our grand adventure, potentially my overalls. We'll have to see what the weight comes out as because those are they're a weighty pant for the few times you're gonna wear them. A hoodie, of course. Long sleeve wool, which could go in there. And also I would pair that that'll go with that shorts. That'll go with those shorts. So that's a good one to take because I have multiple options. Same with this. Ooh, that looks cute. So that's a thicker sweater.
You just said that looks cute because it was gray and you love gray.
I do love gray. That in particular is mottled gray.
Ooh, mottled gray.
It's a different sort of gray. This is a cover-up cardigan for dressier stuff to wear with jeans, cute shoes, to go out for dinner with nicer jewelry. Another long sleeve merino wool.
So
By
what
the
you're
way,
saying?
merino wool, cotton, merino wool. Sporting the Manitoulin love because that's where my heart lives. Just basic sweaters, cotton. This is my favorite sweater in the whole wide world. It is not merino wool, but it is the most comfortable one. It is from Lake Huron, Manitoulin Island.
So what you're saying is every piece that you take has a purpose.
It does, because
And multiple purpose, really.
multiple purpose, you can't take pieces on that don't have multiple purpose because when you're traveling for months on end, they have to serve more than one purpose.
Every ounce matters.
Literally every ounce matters because when you think about it from a bag perspective, you have to take the weight of your bag empty, minus that, and then figure out how much weight you can put into a bag.
Which ends up only being like 35 pounds per checked bag.
Right, because typically your average bags are around, like a medium-sized bag is between 6 and 10 pounds. So that you're already calculating that off of your 50-pound weight for luggage. So you have to think about that when you're packing. So that's why I say that the overalls might not make the cut because they're very heavy. And for the weight of this, I could take two wool sweaters. So then I have to decide, is it a fun pair of pants that I want or are these more practical? Which that's where this goes in a maybe pile. And then if I have extra weight, which I probably won't have, then these might go. So then I have to decide how committed am I to wearing overalls overseas. That's about it. My advice for somebody who has never done this before is start with an unemotional list. If you're going for 5 days, make it 5 days because you don't want to do laundry on a 5-day vacation. If it's 10 days or longer, then you plan on doing laundry. And so that's why I stick with the 10-day. Because inevitably it always ends up being more like a 14-day because you add in things that you really, really like. So by cutting that back to begin with, when I make my list, then I end up with a 14-day probably.
And be ruthless.
And be ruthless. Plan out your shirts first, or because it's easier to pair bottoms to tops, so I always put out my shirts first. Like your bottoms cover multiple. So for instance, this pair here, travel shorts, these are from Decathlon, which is a fairly new company, I think, to Canada, but they're in Europe, all over the place. But this can go with blue, it could go with red, it could go with green, theoretically it could go with the black, and it could go with the pink. So it's a good hiking pant. elastic waist, so for us ladies who tend to bloat certain times of the month, good waist for that. Or if you change weight when you eat pasta in Italy, like I do, I tend to carry all of my weight in my hips and here, so pants tend to be a struggle for me because it's like, do I bring a size 4 or a size 6? So you bring one of each.
So list first.
Or you try to have some pants that are bigger, some pants that are smaller. So list first, because you're always unemotional when you're just sitting there writing out what you need to take. I just sit there and try to think about what I would actually wear in those 10 days. So realistically, if you're going on a summer vacation, like a warm vacation, you're going to a resort, you're not going to wear much other than a bathing suit, shorts, tank top, and a sweater, maybe a rain jacket, depending on if you're going tropical or if you're going desert. Flip-flops, running shoes for hiking, undies obviously, pair of socks for your shoes. And when I'm doing that, I'll shove the socks inside the shoe so that I know that I have them. Plus then that takes up that packing space when you're putting it into a piece of luggage. So that would pretty much be what would fit for if I was going on straight to an all-inclusive destination and coming home for 5 days. I would take 3 tank tops, 2 pair of shorts, at least 2 bathing suits, because if one's wet and you want to go down the hot tub at night, ooh, that's not comfy. 1 cover up, flip-flops, cute shoes, a cute outfit for going out at night, whether that's a pair of jeans or a pair of cotton pants or like linen pants, and a little sweater to go with the tank top you're going to put on with that, jewelry. And that should all theoretically fit in a carry-on, particularly if you use packing cubes, which I use a lot of.
What's a packing cube? Can you grab one?
A packing cube is basically something that you put your clothes in, like this. So this is what I use. These are, I don't even know how you pronounce it, Pullman. They are a camping company. You can buy these on Amazon, or there is
You can check the link in the description.
There's a camp store in Canada that sells them also. But the reason I love these ones, number one, they have a mesh front, so you can see whose it is and what it is. Number two, a lot of packing cubes, and this is my problem with a lot of packing cubes, do not have any space. So when you go to zip them down, you're left with a tiny envelope like this big, which means you can't put a lot of stuff in it. It's like 3 dress shirts. That's it. I can pack this. Well, let's see. If I start packing, I can probably get
Notice how she rolls
1,
up all the clothes.
2, keeping in mind these are only going in, they're only going to be in here a couple of days. You have an ironing board at most places. Okay, so we got a fun pair of shorts, we got a casual pair of shorts. I probably don't need those 2 if I was going for like a short vacation. So that's a hiking pair of shorts or a golf pair of shorts. So that's probably it for shorts. Now, because I pulled from this pile, this is a t-shirt. I wouldn't take it if I was going, this is a t-shirt. So 1 tank top. Let's go with this tank top. Yeah. So what, 2, let's do 3. Or you can lay them over like this and put your, let's see here, this is 3 tank tops. You can sink wash undies, so for like a 5-day vacation, I would take 5, but you don't need to. This is how I travel with my bathing suits for long term, because this is a wash bag. It's a packing cube, but doubles as a wash bag once I get there. So there's 1 bathing suit. There's a 2nd bathing suit, tuck that in there. And you can see I still have a lot of room. So I can put my jeans in, sweater in, wear a hoodie. I'd probably actually wear the jeans. So I could put a pair of linen pants in to wear with the black tank top. We have more space. So as you can see, oh, cover up. Cover up in. So that's undies, bathing suits, bottoms like shorts, linen pants, one sweater, cover up. So that's probably everything you would need. And then this collapses down. So with that and your shoes, you're good to go.
That's awesome. It's like you've done this before.
A few times. We have been traveling internationally, well, our whole marriage, because we started off with our honeymoon going to Cyprus and Israel. And then because David's family is on the West Coast and mine is in Ontario.
Not to mention the decade with our children.
Yes, I started traveling with the kids when Miles was 9 months, but that's internationally. That's not even including Canadian travel back and forth across the country. David's telling me that I should tell you to check the description for links on all the stuff like the packing cubes and different things that we purchase for travel. I'm going to unpack because I'm not ready to pack yet. That'll be next week's task when I actually figure out the weight of what goes in where and what I will have to sadly leave behind.